everyone, welcome to the Acrobatic Arts podcast. I'm Loren, and I will be interviewing some of the top leaders and innovators from the dance and acrobatic industry. If you are a teacher, performer, student, or a lifelong learner like myself, you are sure to find these episodes intriguing and full of inspiration. Acrobatic Arts is passionate about providing current and relevant information for everyone. So please, sit back and enjoy as we share our passion with you and the world. Please join me in welcoming Sandra Elliott, Principal at Acrobatic Arts. With extensive experience in teacher education and program development, Sandra has played a key role in shaping the training and support offered to instructors worldwide. Today, she will be discussing the Assistant Teacher Program, an initiative designed to mentor and prepare the next generation of educators. Sandra Elliott, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me again, Miss Loren.
Sandra, before we get into the Assistant Teacher Program, can you share a little bit about your role at Acrobatic Arts and how long you've been a part of the company?
Well, I've been with the company since its inception in 2012. Mandy brought me on as an examiner and a course conductor at that time. And then as the years passed, I took on more and more of what I would call the education side of the program development. And eventually that turned into a position that I now hold, which is the principal of the company. And this position includes the training and support of new and current examiners and course conductors.
I know you've been a really big part of Acrobatic Arts since the beginning, shaping so many programs. With all that you do, you already mentioned examining, course conducting. What is it about training teachers and leaders that excites you the most?
Well, I really do enjoy the opportunity to give and to share the passion of AcroDance in a way that provides teachers the knowledge to pass on the strong foundations and progressions that the Acrobatic Arts syllabus provides. So it's that giving the teachers the confidence to safely teach acro skills and to build their acro programs, which is so important to our company. And I really feel extremely proud of how our programs have allowed teachers to grow and flourish in ways that they never thought was possible before.
And that's going to bring us right into the Assistant Teacher Program. For anyone listening who hasn't heard about it yet, could you tell us what this program is all about?
Sure. The Assistant Teacher Program allows Module 1 certified teachers to follow the program to mentor dancers to become valuable junior members of their teaching staff. So there's a theory portion of the program, and that is delivered to the dancers through an online study and a workbook. And the dancers will receive that from us, and they must complete those two things. Simultaneously, while they're working on those two items, they will be assisting the mentor in the classroom to get their practical experience. At the end of the program, the mentor will use our evaluation form to evaluate the dancer, leading certain portions of the class plan. And then dancers that are successful will become a certified Acrobatic Arts assistant teacher and will be a valuable helper in the classroom for those teachers.
That gives us a really good overview, but what I'd love to know, because I'm super curious why it was important for Acrobatic Arts to create this program, what challenges were you aiming to solve for teachers and studios?
Teachers really were asking us to provide an opportunity for their dancers to take actually the Module 1 course. And our Module 1 course, they must be 18 years of age to take it. But we were being asked by those teachers, can I have a younger student take it to become an assistant for me? And so we obviously listened to that. We recognized that there was a need for that in our community. And we wanted to just make sure that it was honed to the purpose of an assistant teacher. So with our Module 1 course, that course, its main objective is to cover the skills within the Acrobatic Arts syllabus from primary to level 6. And most teachers come to that course with teaching experience in other dance forms. So we knew that young adults being in an assistant or a supportive role to those teachers needed more of the foundations of teaching. And what I mean by that is like the how to teach versus the details of the syllabus of the what to teach. And so this program we developed, it allows teachers to have potential assistants receive the content that is closer connected with the role that they're going to be participating in as an assistant, and to have that material presented to them at the cognitive level that is more appropriate to their age. So we recommend that dancers that are going to be entering this program be between the ages of 12 and 17.
And when a studio does bring assistants into their classes, what actually changes? I guess what I'm asking is, what's the difference between a class with a well-trained assistant and one without?
Acrobatic Arts strongly recommends that the student-teacher ratio in any acro class be 10-1. So for every 10 students, there should be one teacher in the classroom. And having a well-trained class assistant allows studios to increase the size of their classes while still maintaining the safe ratio that we recommend. Assistants can provide the teacher with more freedom in their planning of their lessons, knowing that there will be more supervision and support in the classroom. So it allows them to have more diverse classrooms, multi-level classrooms, things like that, where they may be a little bit stretched if they're the only ones in the classroom. The class will run more efficiently with an extra body in the room to help move mats, organize dancers, provide some basic technical corrections to dancers, and assistants can even spot some of the lower level skills. And also, I would say that, if something comes up that the teacher needs to attend to, so for example, if there's a parent at the door that really needs to talk to the teacher, or if there's an issue with an individual dancer and the teacher needs to take time to solve that issue, then they can trust that class assistant to get the class started on time, start with the cardio and the warm-up, and to continue to keep that class moving by perhaps counting in dancers, taking their turn going down the mat, etc. So the class would not have to come to a standstill for the teacher to perhaps need to attend to something outside.
I imagine that some of the teachers listening might still feel like training an assistant is one more job to add to everything else that they have to do. Will this program make their lives easier rather than harder?
It will definitely make the training of their assistant teacher much, much easier for them. So what the program actually does is that it does a lot of the preparation and the work of training that new assistant teacher. So as I mentioned before, there's the theory portion, that online study and that workbook. We deliver that directly to the dancer, so the teacher does not have to print anything off if they don't want to, or help the student access the information. But the teacher will need to just confirm that they've completed those two portions of the course and answer any questions that the assistant might have. The mentoring, the practical portion of the class, where the class assistant is assisting under the teacher, it happens right within the classes they're already teaching. So it's not like they have to find ways of teaching that practical portion. There's some extra direction that that assistant is going to need as they're developing. So that mentor is going to need to have a little bit of a conversation before the class or after the class, or at whatever time is convenient, to help give direction to the assistant as to what the teacher would like them to do within the classrooms. But within the classroom itself, the teacher can indirectly train the assistant just by how she's directing the class or how he's directing the class. So for example, you might say to your assistant, or you might say to your class, that Sally is going to take these 4 dancers over to the back mat, and she's going to get you lined up for your log rolls down the mat and count you in, and make sure you're listening to Miss Sally. So indirectly, Sally is listening to that and hears, oh, my job is to go and do that, and they'll do that very readily. Our evaluation form gives the teacher a form that directs them and guides them on what to look for in assessing the assistant teacher's progress on that how to teach portion of teaching, and providing feedback of the assistant's strengths as well as areas of improvement for growth. So they really do have a step-by-step program that they can follow, which makes their life easier.
And in addition to everything that you've mentioned, I'm sure there are some benefits for the studio, having these assistants come and teach in their classes and work in their classes. How can this impact the studio and the staff culture in the future?
Yeah, so dancers that are really keen to become assistants generally love to be at the studio as much as possible. So they're always kind of hanging around and, beyond what is their regular class training for themselves. So those dancers that are super keen and teachers think they would become great assistants, training them to be an assistant gives them that opportunity to engage in other aspects of how the studio runs and the joys and rewards of teaching. So it's a stepping stone to further certification like the Module 1. So those dancers that are certified as an assistant teacher with us, that is one of the prerequisites in order to be accepted into the Module 1 course. So they'll already have that at their fingertips. Teachers that have trained and have grown up within the studio and the studio culture are loyal, and they understand the expectations of that studio and are more likely to seamlessly move into becoming a valuable staff member without that studio or studio owner having to search high and low outside the studio for an acro teacher. And Miss Loren, you know from social media how often we see studios looking outside for those, valuable certified teachers, so that they'll be trained right up within their own studio exactly the way the studio wants them to be.
Now let's talk about the student perspective. I know that a lot of dancers who take on the role of an assistant teacher get benefits that far outweigh what they're learning in class. But how does this program shape them, not just as dancers, but also as leaders and young people?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, this program provides more of like the how to teach and the different aspects around being in a leadership role, meaning that it's providing that knowledge of how to be a contributing member to their studio and all that that sort of entails. The need to be responsible and accountable, what they can expect of, say, dancers' behavioral development at different ages. So if they're assisting a primary level, they'll understand a little bit better what to expect out of a dancer that's age 6 versus a dancer that's age 11. We also teach them about what it means to be a role model for the dancers that they will be teaching, because those little dancers are going to be looking up to those class assistant as somebody that they would like to emulate. And what is appropriate and not appropriate regarding how to act in a classroom, how to post on social media, how to lead portions of the class plans, which means they're doing maybe a little bit of the organizing. They'll have to plan the cardio for the next lesson and sticking to a timeline, because that cardio is only a certain portion of the totality of the class plan. All of these skills will translate into life skills that they will need throughout their dance and teaching careers and beyond dance within the community at large.
Sandra, you're painting such a great picture of why teachers and studios should maybe get their dancers involved in the assistant teacher program. If there are teachers and studio owners listening right now, how would they go about getting their students involved? And can you give them all the resources that they would need?
So in order to put a dancer through our assistant teacher certification program, the mentor must be a certified Module 1 teacher. So that teacher will already have access to the portion of the website that they will need to access. They will, or I would recommend that they go to our website, and under the Programs for Dancers tab, there is a section where they can sign up as a mentor, and that is free of charge. And then once they land on that landing page, there's going to be a whole bunch of information there that will answer the questions that they might have about, what's entailed in the program, maybe a little bit about how it works, the cost of it, etc. But we also have a fantastic, it's optional, but it is a fantastic workshop called our Mentor Workshop. We run this twice a year to fit in with the different hemispheres starting of their dance season. So we just completed the one for North America, and then there will be one later on in the new year for more of the Australia side of the earth that leads into when they start their season. And that mentor workshop, it walks through, for those mentors, we walk them through what's involved in the program, the advantages of having a well-trained assistant, how to provide mentorship in a successful way, and a step-by-step overview of how to register their dancers through their website. So once they start the registration process, it's all really quite easily managed through our website. Information and registration for the workshop, for that mentor workshop, can be found as well on our website under the training courses tab.
And finally, if you could give teachers one compelling reason to register their assistants today, what would it be?
I would say that a well-trained assistant is worth their weight in gold. But more importantly, I really do feel like it's so rewarding to know that you've been such a positive influence in a young person's life, and that they will go forward into the world better prepared, having worked with you, not only just through their dance training, but also through assisting in this program and developing that love for learning, always learning something new and gaining the confidence to go out into the world and to give back.
Sandra, I truly appreciate your time today. It's been absolutely wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you. It's always fun to have a little chat with you, Miss Loren.
Thank you, Sandra Elliott, for sharing information on the Assistant Teacher Program. With the new season beginning, teachers in North America and the UK can bring assistants on board right away. For our teachers in Australia, the Mentor Workshop is coming up, so you'll be ready to kick off 2026. Don't wait. This program is about setting your studio, your students, and your future teachers up for success. Head to the Acrobatic Arts website today and get started. Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a great day.